So if you're new to the channel, welcome, and let me give you a quick recap. The whole month of January, I followed a vegan diet for dietary reasons opposed to ethical or environmental, just to see how hard it was. Vegans always get made fun of. Hey everyone, it's Eric. Welcome back to the channel. I'm finally getting around to making a recap video of my Veganuary challenge, where the whole month of January I followed a vegan diet. I did structured cycling workouts, and I made daily videos tracking my progress. So after making all those videos, I took a much needed break, so I'm finally getting around to making this video. So I want to talk about what all I ate, talk more in depth about the cycling workouts, and talk about the results and how I felt during the month and how my body reacted and changed as a result of the diet and the training. So if you're new to the channel, welcome, and let me give you a quick recap. The whole month of January, I followed a vegan diet for dietary reasons opposed to ethical or environmental, just to see how hard it was. Vegans always get made fun of. Everyone says following a vegan diet is super expensive. We didn't find it to be that bad necessarily. And I did structured cycling workouts just about every day, took a couple days off. And lastly, I made daily vlogs tracking my progress, had a kind of a talking point, which I'll be totally honest, the video aspect was the hardest part of the entire thing. Editing, putting them all together, putting them up on YouTube. Still kind of new to that, so that was the hardest challenge of the whole thing. But I want to show you guys some things that I ate and how I did it. So every day for breakfast, I would either have hash browns cooked in the oven or a bowl of oatmeal, whether we actually made it ourselves or it was just a cup of oatmeal that we heated up in the microwave to get the day going. And of course, and always, coffee with some sort of plant-based, dairy-free creamer. Can't go without that. I think breakfast was the hardest part for me because I'm so accustomed to having a variety of either cereal or a bagel or Pop-Tarts or French toast. And so there's such limited options that I found for breakfast, and I cannot skip breakfast. A lot of people skip breakfast or do intermittent fasting. Nah, not for me. I gotta eat breakfast. Most important meal of the day. That was so hard for me because it was like, okay, what flavor of oatmeal do you want today? Or do you want hash browns? Okay, I was down to like two options. I didn't love that. For my lunches, I was, of course, at work, so usually I would have some kind of vegan mac and cheese. Between these two brands, if life ever gives you the options, go with this one. Not sponsored though. Pretty good. I mean, I'm a huge pasta fan. Of course, these are vegan. They check all the boxes, so the pasta doesn't contain any sort of egg. Some of the cheese flavors were very lacking. Some of them were quite plentiful and creamy and delicious. Annie's wasn't good. But that was a big thing. I had to be prepared. I knew the diet aspect was gonna be a huge challenge for me, so I had to be prepared. I had loads of snacks with me at work, in the office. A lot of things like potato chips, things like this, just fruit nut mix, aka trail mix, but no chocolate. Cookies, of course, because life's not complete without cookies. This is a plant-based brand of cookie. This is your vegan Chips Ahoy, and honestly, I might take it over Chips Ahoy. Like, it's the same chocolate chip thing, dry, crumbly, gets the job done. It's a cookie. And for the dinners, I'm so fortunate my wife is totally on board with this and is a fantastic cook as well. Is totally on board with the plant-based vegan kind of foods. So a lot of our dinners were like whole food, fresh, great produce kind of stuff. So we did have a fair amount of rice, fair amount of plant-based pastas. We also had our fair share of plant-based meats, like soy kind of meats. These plant-based burgers, so good. Rock, they were awesome. However, things like this, chickenless chicken, less awesome. A lot less awesome. Didn't love it as much. They weren't terrible, but that's the kind of vegan food that gets the bad rap. The plant-based burgers were good. However, eating soy-based meats night after night after night got pretty old, so some of the nights we'd go meatless. There wasn't a huge deal to us, as many of our meals before the challenge were also plant-based or just didn't have meat. I'd missed a lot of little things. When we had tacos or something, I missed cheese on top. I missed sour cream. When we had pizza, the vegan cheese, unless it's in the good mac and cheese, like slices of vegan cheese, nah, not good. Cheese for pizza, not good. The brands I had. If there's good brands out there, by all means, let me know. Actually, don't. Just enjoy it yourself. As far as cycling goes, I was riding indoors, obviously, using Zwift on my computer. I followed the 4-week FTP Builder program. Of course, it was 4 weeks. It was a full 7 days. And each workout was about 1 hour. In addition to that, I would do crit races. I did it 3 times during the month. And that was part of my Veganuary thing. I posted some race videos and I did improve dramatically throughout the 3 crit races that I did. So here's something I want to get into a little more, and I didn't in my last Veganuary video. I want to get into my on the bike results specifically. My starting weight was 168 pounds as of December 31st when I was preparing for the challenge. I don't know how many kilos that is. And I did my first ever ramp test and I got an FTP of 225 watts based on my weight of 168 pounds and my 225 watt FTP. That boils down to 2.9 watts per kilo. Personally, I was thinking I was gonna get more like 3.4 watts per kilo, and I was pretty bummed I didn't. Also, I'd never done a ramp test before, and I was kind of expecting to get like a 208 FTP. Again, I had absolutely no idea what I was talking about or like really getting into. So my finishing weight on January 31st was a final weight of 163.8 pounds, and I scored on my final ramp test an FTP score of 268 watts. So based on the weight of 163.8, 268 watts, that was 3.6 watts per kilo. So a significant increase in my watts per kilo, significant increase in my FTP, and I did lose a little bit of weight. Again, the goal wasn't to lose weight, but naturally working out, cycling every day, I did drop just a few pounds, nothing crazy. 17.4% increase in my watts in my FTP, and a dramatic 21.5% increase in my watts per kilo. I'll take that. And again, I want to thank everyone who cheered me on, who gave me likes, who commented on the videos. That was so encouraging for me to see and to read your comments and just to see a lot of very positive feedback. I tell you what, the challenge, the aspect of making videos every day as part of the Veganuary challenge was for sure the hardest part. I'm still kind of new to making videos and the whole YouTube world. So that was a tremendous challenge for me, but the accountability in making the video every day, knowing when I get home from work, despite how I feel, I had to get on the bike. I think collectively there was 5 days where I did not get on the bike. I was sick the very first day. Someone very close to me passed away. I didn't get on the bike that day. And then there was a couple days where I chose to go on a walk with Bethany and do some family time kind of stuff, opposed to just sit on the bike for an hour. Other than that, the accountability was tremendous. At the time of filming this video, I have Zwifted quite a bit. I've been on the bike a handful of times. I've done 0 structured workouts. So I've done a couple races and some group ride stuff. For sure has not been every day. Again, I needed a break. And I do want to reiterate that this is not an experiment. It was a challenge. I completed the challenge, followed the vegan diet for the full 31 days. I followed the 4-week structured training plan, and I did the daily vlogs as well. I completed the challenge and I feel great about that. It was not an experiment in the sense that there's nothing to base it off of. So are the results possibly skewed? No, because it wasn't an experiment, it was a challenge. Now, granted, if I ate a regular diet, would I have improved as much on the bike? I guess we'll never know. I think the physical improvements were probably from showing up and riding the bike just about every day. I think that was half the battle, just getting on the bike daily and seeing the gains in that way. However, I felt fantastic during the month of January. I felt so good. I felt so energized throughout the day, just about every day of the month. And I'll tell you what, it was because I was riding the bike every day, it was very physically draining, and all the things that happened and staying up late doing the edits was very emotionally draining as well. So following my recovery scores using my Whoop 4.0, I could see the trends, and in some days I was well into the green, very well recovered, and I credit that to following a plant-based diet and being very well hydrated, not eating any cheese. For me, that was the big thing. Not eating any dairy, not eating any meat. For me, really helped in getting a green recovery. Now, the days that I was poorly recovered was because it was probably just a lot of mental stress and anxiety, more so weighing on me. And also the buildup of the physical strain and physical stress as well. My body needed to recover. So I think it was the second to last day. I took a day off. I didn't do anything. I didn't get on the bike at all. Didn't even like do anything. I didn't hang out. I didn't do anything. And I like fully recovered. And then I did my final ramp test and nailed it. So all in all, following the vegan diet, I personally really enjoyed it. One of the biggest things I benefited from it was saying no to the convenience and to the temptation of the food directly in front of me. That was a huge win for me, disciplining myself in saying no. Granted, it was for the sake of a challenge, but still I did it for a full 31 days, and I feel really good about that. I felt very energized through the day. I felt like when I woke up, like I felt awake for the most part. I felt very light. A lot of times when I eat meat or dairy, like I feel like I need to take a nap after the meal. When I followed the vegan diet, I didn't feel that way a single time after any one of the meals I ate during the month. And even going into February 1st, no, there was no specific big old steak that I wanted or anything like that. I just wanted like the normal stuff that I couldn't have, like cheese on top of pasta or good cheese on pizza, things like that. I tell you what, I felt just weighed down, especially in those first few days. I felt like there was a dumbbell in my stomach and just kind of weighing me down, like I needed a nap after each meal. So feeling energized throughout the day, there was no late afternoon crash. I really love that. I really appreciate that about the vegan diet. As far as the price of everything, myself and my wife, we didn't really notice a huge increase in food costs, but we also have a super budget-friendly store near us where we were able to get a lot of that plant-based meat. And produce is super expensive, but also so is meat. Everything's expensive these days, let's be real. Meat's really expensive, so if you do substitute it fully for other alternatives, it probably won't be that bad. But I don't know, I can't actually speak to that. So nonetheless, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me on my Veganuary challenge. If you haven't already, go back and watch those videos. Give me a thumbs up. If you have any ideas of what I should do next, by all means, let me know. I'm always up for a challenge. I don't like to lose when it comes to a personal challenge. I love the personal growth that comes from it. So again, thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next one.